So, guys, welcome. Today we are here with Bethany Bacchus, and it's really a unique perspective because we're actually interviewing her, and she's not a client, but rather the wife of one of our clients, talking about the changes that she's seen in her husband and her family over the course of the journey with us. So Bethany, I'd love to dive in here. Tell me a little bit more about what things were like before you guys started working with Ownershift.
Yeah, we had purchased our business about almost 2 years ago. And going into the business, I knew that there would be some hours that my husband would need to devote to kind of getting it where it needed to be. Unfortunately, the number of hours, it pretty quickly skyrocketed to 80, 90 hours a week,
Wow.
which made just being a family kind of hard. We had a newly turned 1 year old at the time, and I was also newly pregnant at the time.
Wow.
So it was a lot, and it was very difficult. So pre ownershift, it was the 80 to 90 hours a week. It was even when he was home, he was constantly stressed about how are things going in the business? Because I know, we had put a lot of money and time into this, so wanted to make sure that it was successful.
Yeah, probably getting those emergency phone calls or texts from the staff. Hey, how do I do this? Or hey, somebody called in sick. That kind of stuff. Something you said really spoke out because I hear this all the time. Someone once told me they were like, even when he's there, he's not there.
It was that definitely, because you could see him constantly being like, all right, I need to recruit from our staff. I need to make sure that my percentages of what I'm spending on labor or food, and needing to make sure and put in place processes and plans for when he wasn't there, but none of that being put in place prior to him coming on board. So
Okay.
just even when he was not physically in the store, he was very much mentally there.
Yeah.
So that made planning for and being present as a couple and as a family really hard.
Yeah, and I mean, and I apologize if this is more personal, but I mean, what kind of an impact did that have on both you and your family?
Yeah, I mean, it was, just the adjustment of how are things going to get done, of having a toddler, and I'm also working, and so
Wow.
just getting everything done, and just the logistics of, hey, we don't have time to talk anymore because you're either at work or you're at home thinking about work. And I want to be supportive, but also we need to have time for us, but there's not time for that. So it was definitely challenging.
And if we look at this, if something didn't change, I mean, knowing the way things were going, I mean, like how do you think that would have played out over the long term?
Honestly, we probably would have ended up selling the business. Just the reality is that I know that, John, he really wanted to be a present part of, our lives. Obviously, we didn't want to get divorced, and, the reality is that we probably would have had to eventually sell the business because 80 to 90-hour weeks, that's not sustainable for family life, but then also for him personally. I know physically and mentally it was really hard for him to be constantly on and doing things.
Yeah, no, I mean, I live that life and I know exactly what you're talking about. And that's just, it's no way to live a life. And it's impossible to have both a family life and a personal life and a work life all at the same
Mm-hmm.
time doing
Yeah.
that. So let's switch gears for a second. Obviously, you guys have been working with ownership for how long has it been now, Andrew?
Like 8 months.
Okay, okay, about 8 months. And so tell us, where are you guys now? What kind of changes have you seen? How is life different than what it was before?
Life is very different. We actually, in the last couple of months, we've been able to go on vacations and trips, just the two of us. We're planning on going and taking our two boys to on a Memorial Day vacation, which we would not have been able to do prior to ownership. My husband is actually, he's able to spend days, during the week with our two boys that we have, which I know that, he wanted to be present and be a part of their lives. We're able to go on date nights. We're able to, he's able to work on things around the house or actually spend time working on like physical health and mental health and, actually feel like, okay, I can actually think about future. I can, instead of just being stressed in the present.
Yeah.
So it's really been a massive improvement, not in just in his life, but in our lives and just for the future.
Yeah, and I've got to ask too, like those are all amazing things, like to be able to spend time with the kids, to be able to be home, and to actually go on date nights. It's crazy
Yeah.
how often we sacrifice those things for our businesses, right? When our family is the whole reason we're doing the business.
Yeah, yeah, definitely being able to. And I saw, like, I mean, he would be on calls with Ownershift and he would get off them and he would be excited about, oh, I can put in this particular framework or plan or process. And, okay, I what can I do to like get my labor and food costs down so that it increases, the profit. So I can put this money not toward just, our family money, but then also, okay, I can put money towards certain improvements at the business.
Yeah.
And so being able to have that framework and training and collaboration in place has been really, really helpful.
Yeah. You know what? Something you said there, just you came off excited about the business because there are so many owners right now that are considering selling or that are in a tough place. And they're just, every day they wake up and look at their phone and go, well, what kind of mess am I walking into today? Who called in sick today? What kind of stress do I instantly wake up to? But to hear that, he's now more excited than ever about things is massive. Just to be able to be excited about your business again is huge. I love that.
Yeah.
So Andrea, I'd love to hear from you. So Andrea's been working directly with John, and I'd love to hear from you. What have you seen as being some of the biggest changes? What stood out to you the most?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with him because I love the value that he had to want to spend with his kids. So when he said he was pulling his boys out of daycare to spend at home with him, like, it literally warmed my heart. And so I love that aspect of the way that it's affected your family. He didn't hesitate to put people in place, right? It's not like he's just left his people to suffer, He put those managers in place. He developed those leaders, right? He created that culture and as a result was able to reduce his hours. He's now working 10 to 15 hours in the business, down from 80 to 90. Yeah. And that happened within a couple of months. It was at least half, if not less, within just a couple months, and then half again a couple months from there because of the training that he put into place with his leaders. So that was a massive impact, but it is really rewarding for me to hear when they're proud to be an owner again. And that makes it a huge difference, right? Where they're proud to be a restaurant owner, they're excited to own the business, and that joy that comes with it instead of the dread is so awesome to see.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I want to hear from you, Bethany, is picture someone as someone who's watching this and saying like, I don't know, can I afford to work with a company like Ownershift? Should I get help? Can I do this on my own? Like asking all of those questions. And so just picture someone sitting in those shoes, picture John sitting and thinking about this. What would you say to him as he is watching this video right now?
I would say do it. I would say do it without hesitation, 110%. And I know the kind of person that's kind of hesitating on, okay, I do want to spend the money and maybe I can piecemeal it together without having someone there to help me put it together. But it's the saying of penny wise and pound foolish to think through, okay, yes, it is the money that I'm spending on this, and maybe you could potentially kind of piecemeal it together, but thinking about, okay, what do I want my life to be in 6 months, in a year, in 5 years, 10 years? And is what I'm doing right now serving that 6 month, 1 year, 5 year, 10 year version of me, how I'm currently doing it? And this particular platform, Ownershift, has really, just for us personally, but I think for a lot of other folks that were, or that may be in that same situation, can be a huge help in getting to that place that they want to be in the future.
Yeah, I think that's a great question. Is what I'm doing right now serving me, both, myself, my family, my business? And if it's not, if you're not getting better and working on getting better every day, then you're just staying the same. And how long are you going to be comfortable with that? So, no, it's a great question. So I appreciate your time, and I love seeing your face light up when you started to talk about the changes that had happened and the impact it's had for you. So that makes me very proud to see what John has been able to do, and just even to be a small part in that journey. And Andrea, the same. I know she probably feels the same as I do. Just warms your heart.
Especially when he's been able to get to a 25% year-over-year growth, right? Spending
Nice.
those hours, on the business instead of in the business has more, right?
Yeah, that's been another, I completely forgot about that, but his ability now, instead of being in the business, which I mean, he still is there, but being able to devote the time that he is spending on more owner related tasks, more administrative, more thinking about marketing, or what connections can he make in the local business community, that he wasn't able to do before.
Yeah, actually, I did a post this morning that says the growth of your restaurant is on the other side of all the things you've had to put off doing because you're so busy putting out fires.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that so often, whereas because we don't know how to do the things to stop the fires that need to be put out because we don't have the systems or the right people in place, we end up doing that instead of the things that'll grow the business. And we're not able to have the time like you guys now have. So that's amazing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time, and would love to chat all day about things, but I know you've got stuff to do, but I really appreciate you taking the time, and this has been absolutely amazing. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. And I'm glad that we're able to make time for us to meet. So
Awesome. All right. And if anyone has any questions out there, feel free to drop a comment on whatever platform you're watching this on, and we will get back to you there. And we have tons more client stories just like this, but this is the first one done from the perspective of a wife who was not involved in the program. So this has been awesome. So I appreciate you guys watching.